Now it's time for your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, November 19th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Maryland gubernatorial hopeful Heather Mizeur to propose legalization of marijuana. From the Washington Post. Maryland Democratic gubernatorial hopeful Heather R. Mizeur on Tuesday will propose legalizing marijuana and using the tax revenue it generates to fund pre-kindergarten education, according to an advance copy of her plan. Mizeur proposes that Maryland regulate marijuana much like it does alcohol. She estimates that taxing the drug could yield up to $157.5 million in new revenue for the state every year. Adults aged 21 and over would be permitted to possess up to an ounce of marijuana without violating state law. Smoking marijuana would not be allowed in public, and it would be illegal to drive under the influence. Mizeur's two better-known Democratic opponents reacted cautiously to word of her plan. A Goucher poll released this month found that 51% of Marylanders support making marijuana use legal in the state, while 40% oppose legalization. Under Mizeur's plan for legalization, marijuana would be subject to an excise tax of $50 per ounce at the point of sale between cultivators and retailers. There would also be a 6% sales tax and a 2% excise tax at the point of sale. Medical marijuana in short supply from the Albuquerque Journal. Demand for medical marijuana under New Mexico's 5-year-old program has soared, but supply of the weed for debilitating conditions has been strained to the point that New Mexico producers have turned away thousands of patients in recent months and rationed the supply to others. New Mexico was the first state to have its State Department of Health license and regulate a nonprofit medical marijuana distribution delivery system, but the program is experiencing growing pains. The number of licensed producers has dropped from a high of 25 to 23, while the number of active patients certified to buy medical cannabis hit 10,289 as of October 31st, according to state officials, increasing by 1,200 from earlier this year. The number of medical conditions eligible for cannabis use has grown to 17, with PTSD and chronic pain accounting for the largest segments of users. Last week, a state medical marijuana advisory board recommended the addition of 3 new medical conditions to the list, including Parkinson's disease and traumatic brain injury. Prosecutor wants suit over marijuana extracts dismissed, from Arizona StarNet. Maricopa County's chief prosecutor is asking a judge to throw out a bid by the parents of a 5-year-old Mesa boy who has seizures to be able to get an extract of marijuana from dispensaries. County Attorney Bill Montgomery is not disputing whether Xander Welton needs the drug. His parents have the proper recommendation from a doctor to sign him up as a patient under the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act. But Montgomery said Monday that those who crafted the statute legalized only marijuana, which means the plant. Any extracts fall under a separate part of the criminal code that was not altered by the voter-approved law. Montgomery said if Jacob and Jennifer Welton think the extract works better, they should take their case to the legislature, which can alter the law, albeit with a 3/4 vote of both the House and Senate and concurrence of the governor. The 2010 law clearly allows those with a doctor's recommendation to obtain marijuana, and it specifically permits the drug to be used in food products rather than being smoked. But the initiative never legalized cannabis, which is described as the extract of the plant. Colorado fire officials fear explosion of marijuana oil production, from the Denver Post. When the white clapboard house in the tiny northern Colorado town of Carr went kaboom, the roof lifted off the top. The chimney fell over. Windows blew out. 3 people went to the hospital. A boy injured in the explosion said 2 men in the house were attempting to make, quote, oil that you use to smoke weed, end quote, according to investigators. Fire officials across Colorado say they are concerned the state's new laws on marijuana will lead to more incidents. Hash oil is concentrated marijuana, more than 75% THC. Last month, the Colorado Information Analysis Center, part of the State Homeland Security Office, put out a bulletin warning officials about the dangers of hash oil explosions. The bulletin noted 2 cases, a February home explosion in Lakewood and a July incident in Colorado Springs. News reports show that there have been at least 5 more spanning several years, including the explosion in Carr and 1 each in Steamboat Springs and Breckenridge. 2 incidences have occurred in Fort Collins, including one in 2009 in which a man died from burns. And cannabis clubs are blossoming in the UK. A new report from The Guardian UK. We will talk more about that with Cannabis Cure UK, aka Greg DeHote from Normal UK at 1:30. This has been your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, November 19th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines to take a look at the state of marijuana laws in the United States in 2013, including DUID, possession, reciprocity, medical marijuana, legalization, and more. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.